Hi, everyone. Today, you'll learn about the benefits of building an email list and how to maximize communications with your audience. You'll discover how to make a newsletter and build awareness for your business. This workshop will teach you skills to enhance your marketing efforts while keeping you flexible and productive. The workshop is presented by the MBDA Care Center, which is a part of the Enterprise Center, and Creative Repute, a team of researchers, artists, website developers, and graphic designers. The main presenter today is Tyra Jamison, who's a writer, artist, and all-around creative. Her work with digital content, web design, and social media management has helped build the presence of fresh artist collectives and has established nonprofit organizations alike. Their social media strategy excels when it comes to event promotion. However, their passion is adaptable and proven to suit a wide range of marketing and branding tools. Thank you. I'll hand it over to Tyra.
Thank you, Niall. Hi, my name is Tyra, and I'm really excited to talk to you all about email marketing today. So pretty much we're going to go through a few things. It's essentially like a beginner's presentation, so I am teaching as well as learning. All right, so we worked through the introduction. So a few things, we're going to go through the benefits of keeping an email list, a healthy email checklist, which is something that I'm going to refer to throughout the presentation. It's one of the supplemental materials, a PDF, and then some free tools to start with, what we do and don't want, and then we're going to walk through setting an email list up or setting up an email newsletter. No Q&A, but you can always feel free to reach us at any of our social media channels. And yeah, so I'll let you know how to keep in touch. Here we go. So my first note is to start with what you have. Now, one thing I'm going to refer to is the questions. I'm pulling up the PDF of the preview questions. So the purpose of these questions is to pretty much like show like what you already have. A lot of people look at email marketing as this, email marketing can be a super complex strategy, but at the end of the day, it's really just another way to connect with your audience or connect with your customers more. So some things to think about before you start like a sign up sheet or before you even start writing your first email is, what is the first thing your customers know about your business? This is something that can be communicated as we have shown in the branding workshop, and I encourage you to check that out as well as the materials for that. But honestly, like, what is the first impression that your customers get when they walk in the door or when they see your social media or when they hear from you? And then we want to know what is something you want to tell your customers more about. So if your customers are always asking, say you have a bookstore and it's like a holistic bookstore, and they're always asking if you have a copy of the text Sacred Woman, then what is like if you're wondering like when you're going to restock it or something like that, that's something that could be communicated through an email newsletter. What is a question your customers are always asking you? So if they're always asking you more about your story, say you have a specific story, say that a portion of your sales always goes to supporting like the local kids football team, and it's something that can't be said in a 15-minute interaction, an email newsletter is a great way to communicate that. And then to keep ourselves like future minded, what's changing about your business within the next 3 to 6 months, keep staying in contact with your customers is a great way to communicate any changes. Say you're acquiring a new building that is on the other side of 52nd Street, and you want people to be prepared to visit that building when it opens, then this is a great way to communicate that. Now, another thing I'm going to refer to, Antoine Digital. So Antoine Digital is a young Black man, and he pretty much taught himself how to code. He was formerly incarcerated, and he taught himself how to code and has built a business off of that and off of teaching people how to code. You may know him as the CEO of Unlock Academy. Now, I'm going to show you something that he offers on his email list. He says, "This memoir will change the way you handle losses. Cages to stages, how STEM changed my life." So this is kind of expanding more on his story. So as a general like reference point, people know that Antoine Digital, he taught himself how to code, and that was like his way of making money like after being like leaving prison. And this so it expands a bit more on the story. You have a link to the memoir, and you generally like have like a background to what a story is. It's one of the first emails that I got when signing up for his email list. So in the tagline, "This memoir will change the way you handle losses." um, Everybody has had experience with taking a loss before. So it's a great organic way to connect with who you need to connect with.
So it sounds like at the very beginning of most newsletters, it starts off with someone's logo at the top so they can recognize who their brand is. And then after that, they have a headline or a title that will catch attention, something that people can relate to, which is this memoir will change the way you handle losses. And then when you scroll down, there's imagery, a little bit more of a description right under that, and then a call to action or a button, which is get your copy. So when you send out a newsletter, you're telling people what you want them to do, which is click to get your copy. And then under that's more contact information.
Right. And the best thing about that is these are all like very simple steps to building that relationship essentially, because, it's just something that you can let people have access to on their own time. It's quick, simple template, and as you can see, he's using MailChimp, which we'll learn about more when we get to our different tools. Thank you for that. I wanted to refer to the healthy email checklist, which Niall has brought up some pretty good values from. So the first thing you want is to have an offering. So as you see, Antoine had offered a signed copy of his memoir. You want to create a sign up form. So you want to think about the ways that you're going to exchange this information. Is it something that's happening at the register? Is this something that's happening at a vending event? Is this something that's happening, off of people's social media? And you want a landing page. So you want somewhere for people to go after the email list, and then you want to create your greeting, subject, content, and closing. So that's pretty much your email. And then you want to schedule when to send your emails. So figure out like a great time to send those. And the checklist that I'm referring to.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
How do you know when to send out emails? When should it be scheduled?
Oh, you should know when to send out emails. Like once you have enough content to be able to take your hands off of it off for a while. So at the end of like setting up like an email template, they have most places like have a tool to schedule. And then you pretty much want to think about your customer's day, who you're reaching, and think about like what a great time to even like receive or look at an email is. So some people might check their emails at the beginning of the day at 10 a.m. or people might check it around lunchtime. Um, so it's honestly like think about when is like a good consistent time. But this is something that can be done pretty much like once you're done creating the content and emails. So if you want to communicate, say once or twice a month, then you can schedule content for about 6 months out, and then have those emails pretty much lined up and ready to go. If you decide that you want to talk to people more so like once a week, then you can also schedule things for about 3 to 6 weeks out. So you can really even take about an hour or 2 hours at the beginning of each week to schedule out content for months down the line. So it's really like all up to you.
I
Was
see. So
that?
it's strategic.
Yes, it's all about strategy and all about like how often. I think like a lot of when thinking about like what your audience is, what one is maybe like what would you want? So how often would you want to get paper mail? Because these days like email is the new paper mail, and with like our correspondences and stuff, it's really easy to have like a full inbox. So, you know, if you want to be something that someone looks forward to hearing from every week, then great. But if you think that your customers might want to have like a more laid back approach, then that's also great. It really all depends on what you think your customers will respond well to. And it's also a strategy that you can change up as you see.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. And so just wanted to refer to this healthy email checklist. If you want like a shorthand, and then these are some more personalized steps. So, the benefits of keeping an email list, one, you have another way to maintain a relationship to your customers. You can share any updates you need widely. So, even think about the past year and some change with this pandemic, you know, with things like mask mandates and announcements of like, the hours of businesses, like all of that was changing on a week by week basis. And, even think about like how many times like you've had to like print out a flyer and like stick it on your door to let people know. An email list is a simple way to share any updates, if you're hiring, if you're looking for new team members, if you are joining or having a joint effort with another business. This is a way to communicate that. You can stay connected independent of social media or open doors. So, say, Instagram is a great app that is always updating. So, and people are always on it. So, sometimes that causes it to crash or shut down. If Instagram is like your only way of communicating with your audience, then that leaves you in a difficult place. You're pretty much at the mercy of Instagram. But if you have an email newsletter, or even like different ways that social media accounts can get shut down due to like changing guidelines. So this is just another way to build your foundation. And then you can keep in contact with other business owners. So if you are at a vending event or a networking event, business cards are great. Um, it's been a while since I've like seen like an actual Rolodex though. So like having an email newsletter and even the ways that you can filter out your contacts, that can allow you to have like a specific conversation with other business owners. So if you are inviting them to a event of some kind, then having them on your email list is a great way to get that across.
That makes sense. So it sounds like if I were to go to a networking event, instead of simply giving out my business card and hoping that people will reach out, it's probably better for me to ask for their contact info and if I can add them to my mailing list.
Yes, because you have that established, and especially at networking events, you meet so many people. So it's great to be the person that they remember.
Should I ask for permission before adding someone to my mailing list, my email list?
Absolutely, because this information is sensitive. Um, I think that the way that you sign someone up or add them to your mailing list, it can be be super important because your email address is your digital address, essentially. So the same way that you would be hesitant about giving like a stranger your home address, a lot of people would probably be hesitant about giving their email address, which is why you want to have like an effective way of getting people to sign up in a very clear way. So letting them know that they will be receiving emails, because there's nothing that gets someone to like close or unsubscribe faster than like getting an email they never signed up for.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. So, a gift with major returns. Something that I'm also thinking about in terms of offering examples is what your offering is when signing up. So, referring to like the preview questions, and even referring to the current worksheets to follow along with. Um, a gift with major returns. You are exchanging something with your customer or with your next contact for information. So, say you have a sign up sheet that's on an iPad at the front of the store, then you are offering like say 15% off of like that current purchase just for their email. They understand that they will be getting emails, and they understand that you get this discount. Um, and there's a lot of ways to do that, especially like if you're based in products, events, services. It's all about just knowing like what you already have to offer and how to get that to people. So I'm going to share something from Walker's Legacy. Walker's Legacy is an organization that is specifically like about empowering Black women in business. So, as you can see, their headline here for like the 1228. I was looking for the free membership. There we go. So last chance, 1 year free membership promo ends today. Typically their membership is paid and comes with a lot of benefits. You even see here in the image that they have like a lot of connected organizations, like a lot of connected like larger businesses. Walker's Legacy, their email list is typically sharing information and resources for small business owners. So things such as grant money and different trainings and webinars. And then they have like a code.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
It looks like their call to action is to sign up for their mailing list at the top of the email.
Yes.
Join our mailing list. But if you got this email, that means you're already on the mailing list, correct?
Correct.
So does that mean they have more than one mailing list, like a introduction mailing list to ask if you can actually consent to being on that main mailing list?
I could check and see. Yeah, I think that their mailing list probably has to do with news. Right here it says sign up to stay in touch. Interesting news and updates delivered to your inbox. So I think that even this email, like it looks like it's like meant to be forwarded to people as well. So like if if it's like someone that's like not on their mailing list. But I would say that this is about signing up to get like organization specific updates of, oh, we just collaborated with AMC to get people some stock specials or something like that.
Yeah, I think another good thing to highlight here is that organizations can have more than one mailing list. For example, you can have mailing lists for new people, or you can have mailing lists for people who've been with you for several years, or mailing lists for just people who are actually subscribed members.
True. Yes, you can manage different mailing lists and different audiences. So that's kind of like we were saying with like distinguishing who's your contacts. So there's new folks. So if they're not sure so much about like what your organization is, what your business does, then that can give you more, you can give them more story based updates. While, you know, if they join, say, a mailing list for people who like want to stay in touch, then that would be giving deals. I know usually folks who have something like a Patreon or a subscription based service for the subscribers, if they're dropping different products, then they will give them a code to have like an exclusive leg up before the product drops. So this is usually for folks who have like products with like limited edition. Their stuff like sells out in like 2 hours or less. But these are just the different ways that you can build and manage relationships on different levels. So thank you for highlighting that.
I see.
So yes, another thing is Walker's Legacy Boss Box. So down to our final 20, so you already know it's limited. And then this has following items with different, different stuff from like small businesses or people they're connected with. And, and then it has some free merch. Well, not necessarily free, but these are these are just like good things to get across in your email list. And they've been around for a bit. I think that here they're celebrating like, yes, they're celebrating like an anniversary of some type. So all of these are kind of more like established ways to look at something that you're possibly just starting out with. But it's always good to dream, and it's always good to have like you know, like a forward thinking way of looking at what you're offering.
What do you think about offering like something free for my business and or like raffling it off on social media if you sign up for a mailing list? Is that a good way to get subscribers?
That is because if the if like you already have a way to communicate with them because they've given you their email, and it's like again like something to look forward to because a lot of people enter raffles and then forget about it like about a week or 2 weeks later. So someone gets the opportunity to get a free gift, then you're on the mailing list, you have different things. If you're a product based store, so say you have like an overflow in a certain amount of items, then yeah, feel free to raffle it off. Feel free to throw it in for anybody that like signs up for the mailing list right then and there. It's all about how someone comes to your mailing list.
And I guess I wonder if I'm not a product-based store, if I just offer like consulting services, uh, then maybe I can offer like an hour free consultation in exchange for signing up for my mailing list. Or if I can't offer it to like dozens of people, then maybe I could just say someone at random will be chosen for that hour of free one-on-one with me. Okay.
Yes, yes, for sure. It's almost similar to how like say like like you mentioned, like offering a service, offering like an hour free consultation. It's like almost similar to how you would go about getting testimonials as well. Um, you just want something that you know works for you and that you know that you can accommodate so that, you know, you're bringing people in, you're building this relationship. So here we're going to discuss what we would want from an email list. So one thing is a subject line that grabs attention, as we've seen in examples before, a consistent, easy to use template to make things easier for you. So some of the platforms that we're going to show you have different ways to offer templates. Their free plans may have like a limited set of templates, but just like something that you can easily drop content into, drop branding into, for when you're just starting out, because the goal is to start and to start with like a good foundation and to start strong. Content that's valuable to your customers, and then more traffic to your landing page, whether that's a store page, whether that's, as Niall mentioned, like a RFP page, so a page to get, you know, get like different services booked. And then you want another layer to you and your audience's relationship. And then what you don't want from an email list is bad timing. So I don't know anybody that likes getting emails at like 4 a.m. or 3 a.m., but you know, if that works for your audience, then that could work out. You also don't want like, you don't generally don't want to send emails more than once a day, because that could send your emails to spam. You don't want your emails going straight to spam, because then, you know, it's kind of a wasted effort. And then you don't want pictures or media that doesn't look good. So you don't want like things that don't like stretch well or translate well. And then you don't want junk mail with your name on it, pretty much. So I think that the biggest thing about having an email list is quality over quantity. So if you have like a lot of content and a lot of news to share, then that's great. You can probably get away with sending emails about like, you know, a couple times a week. But if you know that you prefer to like have your updates on like a month to month basis, then that's also great, because you don't want to burn yourself out when you're just starting out.
In terms of sending or using pictures and media that does look good, what are some good stock photo websites that you'd recommend if I don't have quality photos to include?
Hmm.
I know
That
that Unsplash is one good website. Another is Pixels for free stock photos just to get started.
yes,
But if you want a wider range of options, Adobe Stock is a place to get stock photos.
yes. I I personally don't have any other suggestions in terms of the stock photos, but those are all like really good suggestions.
Okay.
So some free tools to start with are MailChimp, which I mentioned before. You On their free program, you can have one active list with up to 2,000 subscribers. It includes a website builder and a landing page builder as well. And these are all like pretty like template based. So using like any like pictures from those like stock websites like Unsplash, Pixels, or Adobe Stock, you can put those into their templates and kind of like put your own branding together. They also have like sign up forms. MailChimp is really great, like in terms of having like that drag and drop builder. And it's also pretty recognizable too. Another one is HubSpot. With their free program, You can have ads for Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Google. So if you wanted to connect that with like your social media presence, you can also do sign up forms, the landing page. You can have up to 5 active lists. So like we discussed earlier about having different contacts for different reasons, this would be a really good option. And then you also have contact management. So again, like with the 5 active lists, this is like where when you're putting in a contact, you have different sign up forms. Say you're assuming that the folks coming from like your social media sign up are newer people that have never heard of your business before. That would be different from people that are signing up at the brick and mortar. And that would be different from people who are signing up from different like vending or networking events. MoveSend has free newsletter templates, and probably more so than MailChimp would have. I know MailChimp has like some simple column templates and things like that, but MoveSend has like just like a wider range, a drag and drop editor, unlimited emails, so you're not limited on on how many emails you can send out. And then an option to test out your email list. So they have a tool to pretty much say, all right, this is the email I got. If I send it out, how successful is it going to be? How many people are going to open it? How many people are going to get to the web page? So it really helps you, get your strategy together. It's very supportive for folks that are just starting out on their strategy. Now, what happens after the email? This is what I mean by talking about a landing page. The folks that I'm going to bring up are Talat and Ty McNeely. They are known for building a brand around helping like Black families and power couples pretty much achieve financial freedom. So what happens after the email? They're having a as you can see in this email, you see they're having a dollar sale for 24 hours. They're talking about Juneteenth, again, bringing people's attention back to financial freedom. So this is the importance of a call to action. So Power Couples University, right here, they talk about like what they have to offer with this dollar sale. And you also have testimonials as well. What's happening like after the 24 hours is that you have access to their Power Couples University. You have access to all of their courses just for $1. So in this instance, what happens after the email is that you are bringing someone else in to your product or to your brand. So that is something to think about in terms of what you have to offer to folks on your list. Now, let's set an email up. So here I already had set up like a sample email for myself. So we are going to create an email.
And this is in MailChimp, right?
Yes, this is in MailChimp. And we're going to create an email from the perspective of Creative Repute. So we've already created our sign up form and we already have offered, like a few things. So some links to our branding workshop. So I'm going to say, but thank you for joining our mailing list. Mm-hmm. All right, so I already have my recipients, but if you like to segment your audience, so if you like to tag up like who you want to get this is where you would do it. For now, I'm gonna say Tyra from mantisrights@gmail.com. And subject line, let us turn you into a branding genius. And then here, they even give you tips on what a great subject line does. So short and sweet, emojis are great in small quantities. That depends on your audience, space is limited, and you got your point across without using too many punctuation marks. Yep, 111 characters. Um, they said great job staying under 60 characters. And then preview text. We'll get to that once we design the email and the content. And then you could do classic builder or email builder. I'm going to see. I'm going to stick with the classic builder for now. So here you see the different templates that they use. Right here, it's pretty limited, but with another platform, you could possibly have more to work with, but it's really good for just starting out. So let's start with one column full width. So we're going to add our logo. All right. And here we go. You've got our logo. And then here is a way to design the text of the email. All right, so we've got a simple email with logo and text and a call to action.
Should we add in an image?
Yes, we definitely can.
Yeah, and then click on the image section and drag and drop that into the email template. There you go. And then here you can select that photo that you've already uploaded. And here is saying the image is too big. Let's make it even smaller. So let's fix it. You can go with the dimensions that they're recommending.
1200. 1200 or 900 or whatever.
Yeah, 800.
All right, and this is all formatted here. And then down here, you can add links to your social media or other ways to reach you. Let's just make sure. Screen. Go back to MailChimp. Okay. All right. And then here is where you have your copyright information. It says we may automatically add your content and contact info in the footer block. So here we just put copyright 2021. Creative Repute LLC. All rights reserved. And then our mail address is info@creativerepute.com. And then here's where for updating your preferences or unsubscribing from this list, this is where like a landing page would be important. So it could be like an extension of your sign up form. All right. So this looks pretty good. MailChimp has a feature where you can send a test email as well. So you can share your campaign, you can add a social media post, so you can connect any of these channels. And then you can choose to either schedule well, scheduling, you would have to upgrade. But you can send when you're ready to send. You already have your list, you have your recipients, and yes. We automatically add a referral badge. Oh, okay, this is just talking about the things that they'll add. But you have a draft, you can make as many drafts as you want. And if you want somebody to manually go in and send them whenever you're ready to send, then you can feel free to do that. So going back to our presentation.
Should you send out a test so that they can see what it's like when it hits your inbox?
I could do that. All right. Include instructions in a personal message if you want. All right.
Awesome. It looks really good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So that's how you set up your first email. Some additional cool tools to keep your list strong are website plugins. So if you already have something like WordPress, Shopify, Squarespace, then they often just have different tools to make it easier for you to build an email list. So with WordPress, it's really just like a MailChimp plugin or whatever or their personally branded email plugin. So they also like have like those same tools and those same templates. And I think the best part is that if you already have a site linked to that, then when you're sending out tester emails and such, it makes it easier for people to get those emails. You are bypassing the spam box. Link trees, so for social media, you can link your sign up form to whatever you need. So you can include that in your links. So say you're sharing information about a deal or like 15% off, then you can just say, hey, link in my bio, sign up sheet for the email list. And then you can even like apply those principles of having like a good headline. So say like instead of saying sign up for my email list, which people are used to hearing, here's how to get your 15% off. And then it takes you to your sign up sheet where you also communicate, hey, this is to join my email list. Settings and tracking. So as you get to different levels with different platforms, you can track your emails. You can track like, who it's going to, you can track like who's opening it and then who isn't to adjust to your strategy. Scheduling your campaign. As you saw on MailChimp, that was something that was included on their paid plan. But I know that on Hootsuite and Lucent, I believe they have like different ways to schedule your campaign. And then tagging your audience too. This is another tool to manage your lists and differentiate between different contacts. And then any closing thoughts? My closing thoughts are simply that this is a beginning. So this is simply another way to establish a line of communication with your customers. You already have what you need in terms of content and resources and ways to connect. I would just say think about an email newsletter or an email list as another channel, or something that's in addition to what you already have. So, yeah, thank you for joining us and thank you for tuning in. And if you have any questions, you can always reach us at these outlets right here. Any closing thoughts, Niall?
No, I think you did a fantastic job. Thank you so much, Tyra.
Thank you.